Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and I have my new ARTEZA mat, and I'm super excited because mine was really just starting to get kind of grungy and gross. I've had it for 2 years and I use it basically every single day, so they definitely last. And there's nothing wrong with mine, it's just looking kind of disgusting, even though I've cleaned it. So I know there's a glare and I apologize for that, but until I take the plastic off, there's not a whole lot I can do about it. If we want light. I mean, I can kind of put it up a little, I guess, but anyway, this is an 18 by 24 self-healing rotary mat, and these mats come in 3 sizes. They have the 12 by 18, the 18 by 24, which is this one, and the 24 by 36. So if you're a quilter or something like that, I would imagine that you would want, you know, like the 24 by 36, but this is a great size for me, the 18 by 24. So yeah, they're just super nice mats, and they hold up really well because mine really isn't awful. It's just, you know, it's definitely gotten used. You can kind of just, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but it does have marks and stuff on it, so I'll definitely still use it on a different table, but for my videos it's kind of nice to have, you know, the nicer looking one, and I'll try to take better care of it. But anyway, they are super nice mats, and they're double-sided, and it tells you, like, it reminds you of things not to do up here, like it's no stapling or ironing, I think is what that is, because the heat will melt it. No, like, direct sunlight, no freezing, I would assume, or heat or freezing, that kind of thing. It just isn't good for them. They probably crack if they get too cold. And then, you know, obviously you don't want to be like trying to fold it, because it's just not, it's not meant for that. It's meant to lay flat. And it came very nicely boxed. I did take it out of the box because it was, you know, way bigger than anything that I could have in camera, but it was very nicely boxed with some paper rolled up with it so that it wouldn't get bent or anything like that. So they are very nice, and it's an American company that makes them. ARTEZA is. And then, you know, they have, these are inches, the little squares are inches, which probably everybody pretty much knows that. But then they also have the, you know, from the corner measurement, and I don't know exactly what that would be called. I'm not very great with, sorry, I'm trying to get it in the, let's see, so if you're trying to come out this way, then you can use these measurements and the degrees. But for me, I mostly use the inches, obviously, and then the half-inch marker is there as well. And these numbers I'm liking a lot more than the one on my old one. You can see, for some of us who are getting a little bit older and need reading glasses, these numbers are tiny. I mean, they're not so tiny that I can't read them, but these I can definitely read much better without glasses. So that's really kind of nice. And these squares, these are a little bit nice because, you know, you've got the 4, you know, like quarters, and that can be helpful, but at least they have the half mark and that, so that's perfect. And then there's the other smaller measurements along the side as well, which might be kind of hard to see. Bring it up a little bit closer, you can see the little lines for 8s, you know. So anyway, that's that side. It's got one of my dry wipes. And then this is the other side, which is the same, it's just a little bit darker. So it's a darker gray and a lighter gray. It looks black when you look at it on their website, like it looks like one side's, I don't know, maybe it does look kind of gray, but I assumed it was black, but it's a dark gray and a light gray. So that's kind of nice. I think I'll go ahead and take it out of here so maybe we can get rid of some of the glare. And I apologize for that. I just didn't, you know, I wanted you to see how it'll come to you. And like I said, it comes in a great big box. So, just trying to get a hold of this plastic here to get it off. Okay. Yeah, so that's really nice. Nice surface. I just need to be a little more careful. But I mean, you know, they're for cutting and stuff, so it's not like, you know, you're not supposed to use it for cutting, because it, you know, that's what it's for. But What was I going to tell you in here? Oh, it tells you it's a self-healing rotary mat, and there's helpful tips. So if you get this, you can use your phone to scan these little boxes and it'll tell you helpful tips. And then on this one, it says join the ARTEZA club and get 20% off your next purchase. So that's what that little one is there. And they a lot of times do giveaways or like 10% off, 20% off, that type of thing. So really great company. So that's my mat. And then I also got these mica powders, and there's 60 colors in this box, and it shows you on the back all the colors. This wrapped in plastic too, so it's gonna glare for a minute, but you can see there's loads of colors. And they so these are cosmetic grade, so you could use them in soap, nail polish, eyeshadows. You can use them for like a makeup powder for, you know, cheeks or whatever. You can put them in epoxy, and it tells you, you know, proportions of what you need. And they are done by weight is how they're bottled. So like some bottles might appear to be super full, and other bottles will seem like they're, you know, a quarter full or whatever. It's not by quantity, it's by weight, and some minerals weigh more than others. So that's why you'll have some discrepancy in what it looks like. It includes one measurement spoon. So here's all the colors, and I obviously have not opened and looked at this yet, but here's just the little measuring spoon so you can scoop out some of the mica powder. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. I might attach it to the box, or, you know, the bag to the box so that I can put it back in there. I don't know. I just know I'll lose that so fast. But anyway, so it has this. The pigments are packaged according to weight, not volume. Some pigments are naturally heavier than others and can settle over time. So it shows you that there may be variations, but that's normal. It's just sort of the way the mica powder is. See, like these are pretty close to the same. I'm not really at the moment seeing one that's a lot less, but you know, like they said, they settle over time. So if these were just packaged, maybe that's why. I don't know. This one has maybe a little bit less. You can kind of see in there. So yeah, just really pretty colors though. You could do a lot of fun stuff, especially if you are a person that makes like nail polish or lip gloss, or, you know, any of those kind of things. You could make some really fun stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is go off of camera and play just a little bit, because like I said, I have no experience with this whatsoever. And then I'll come back and, you know, do some stuff with you guys once I kind of get a feel for it a little bit, because I've never used mica powder at all on anything. So I know that these are just the pure mica powders. They don't have any binder in them. So that's going to be the trick for me, because I would want to use them in journals, on paper, or even fabric. And so I have to figure out a way to get them to stick to things, because if I just used, say, water, because you can paint with them as well, so you could use them just like paint, watercolor paint. You could just mix a little bit of this with water and use it like paint. The problem is, once it's on paper, once it's dry, you'll be able to rub off some of the mica powder, not all of it, but some of it. So you need to put a binder with it, like a matte medium or a glue or something, and that's something that I kind of want to play with a little bit before I you know, try to give you guys ideas, because I'm not sure exactly what will work and what won't. So I'm going to play with them a little bit, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I played, and it was loads of fun. I love this stuff. So I used the caramel brown, what's this one, emerald green, although to me it looks more like a kind of a turquoisey color, but it's called emerald green. And then this one is amethyst purple. So and I'll show you exactly how I mixed it in just a minute. I mixed it with some alcohol and a little bit of matte medium, a little bit of water, and sprayed it on these things. So you can see that this lace has the purple and that green and the brown. So because I had to put the matte medium in so that it would stick, because like when I go like this, it's not rubbing off on my hand at all. And if I had not done that, if I had just put it in like water or whatever, it would, you know, potentially rub off. So the matte medium just helped hold it, you know, onto the fabric. So because of that, this lace is a tiny bit stiff, but it's not bad stiff. Like, it doesn't feel like, ew, I can't use it. I think you could definitely still use it in a journal. So there's that, and there's the amethyst by itself. And then this I laid over this piece of paper and sprayed. So I just took my lace, and you could use whatever lace you want. I just laid it over, sprayed. So my lace got covered or colored, and I got a really cool design on my paper. So I did try to make a photocopy of that because I was like, that could be cool for a digital, but you lose all the sparkle. I mean, it's still cool because, you know, you can still see the design, but you lose all the sparkle, and the sparkle is kind of, you know, what makes it fun. Because I think, I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera really well, but it's definitely sparkly, and I think it would make really neat journal pages, or the back of tags or something like that. So I think that's super fun. And then I also sprayed a glassine bag, and I had the lace over this too. It's a little bit harder to tell, and it, you know, the effect isn't quite as good, but I still really like the way it came out, and it's definitely stuck. Like, you can see I can rub on that, and it's not coming off on my thumb at all. Well, it'll help if you could see my thumb, huh? The only thing is, and I didn't think of this, I just sprayed it, and it kind of glued this part of the bag, you know, to the other part. So I had to kind of tear it off of there right here. So definitely put maybe like just something in there, like, I don't know, either like a piece, I've got a piece of wax paper on here, or, you know, something like this, just to hold it apart enough so that it doesn't stick to itself. I mean, that's obviously kind of a duh move on my part, but because there is a glue in there. So there's that. And then this was really fun. I thought I sprayed it with the emerald green and the brown, and I put a mason jar, you know, it's got the little ridges and bumps there, on top of it. I actually sprayed a little bit on the jar first and put it down so that it would have enough to make a good ring, and that came out really cool. And again, this doesn't rub off, so the matte medium definitely helps hold it there, because I've watched other people do videos. I mean, like, okay, so there's a teeny bit of sparkle, but nothing much. I have seen videos where people have used it as a watercolor, and then they're like, you need to put it behind glass, or spray it with a fixative or something like that, because, you know, it will rub off because it dries, and then the mica powder is basically kind of like loose again. I mean, it's not so loose that it'll just all fall off when you tip it or something, but it needs to be covered. So this way, with a little bit of matte medium, it's staying on there fine. So that's just a 3x5 card. Here's another one that I put the lace, and I just did the purple, so you can kind of see the design of the lace on there. And I just sprayed the whole back with the purple. I don't know if you can tell that it's glittery, but it's really kind of cool. And then I did an envelope, and I used the green and the amethyst together. I sprayed it mostly with the green, and then I added a few spots of purple on there. And again, this tried to, you know, stick onto, I think I set it down on a piece of paper, and it, you know, but envelopes do that, so I should have just known better. But it would be good to have a piece of wax paper to put your things on so they don't stick, and then be careful that this doesn't stick together too. So just things to think about. And then I just sprayed the rest of my purple on here because I just wanted you to see that it doesn't rub off. So it works very well. So I'll show you how I did that, and you can do other things with these mica powders too. This is just like how I envision using them with junk journals. So, but you can paint with them. You can do like decoupaging, which I think would be really cool too. Add a little bit, what am I doing, of the, you know, put down some matte medium, or even just Elmer's glue or whatever, and add a little of the mica powder, and then decoupage, and you could get kind of a sparkly effect over your napkins or whatever. But what I did to make the spray that I used is 4 pipettes of rubbing alcohol, and it doesn't matter what kind. I have 70% isopropyl, but you know, just use what you've got. So I did 4 of those, and it doesn't have to be precise. I just am telling you about how much, so if you want to make some, you'll kind of have an idea of how much of whatever. But it's not like it's going to make a big difference if it's not that exact amount. And then, let's see, I think I want to do a different kind of a brownish color, because I've got some things in mind that I want to work on. This is a chocolate brown. Let's just try and see what that color looks like. And I do about 2 of the little spoons. It just depends on how dark. If you want it darker, you add more. If you want it lighter, you add less. Obviously, right? There's petting Pasha and he's meowing. And then I don't measure this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, he is that too because you picked him up. He didn't want to be picked up right now. And then I just put some of this in. And it's not by any measurement, it's just like that. Literally, I mean, that's all I did yesterday when I did these. And then I do about 4 pipettes again of just water, and this is just plain water. And this is just going to give you more, you know what I mean, of the solution, and you won't be using quite as much alcohol. But I don't think the water is necessary. I just chose to do that. I don't know, did I do 4 or 5? It doesn't really matter. Just put some water in a little bit. I wouldn't make big filled containers, only because unless you're going to take the sprayer out, because I would worry that the sprayer might get the glue and the what do you call it, the mica powder in the little sprayer tube words, and then it could get clogged, you know, if you left it sitting. So I tried to kind of use mine all up yesterday when I did it, but you know, you can play with it and see if it lasts and if you can use the sprayer. And I got these glass sprayers from Amazon, and I'll leave a link to that in my description box so that you guys can get those if, you know, if you're interested. I mean, you may have little sprayers or whatever already. I just didn't have any, so I'm just going to clean this off so I don't get that all over everything. And then I've got just some tags that I have, or, you know, kind of smaller pieces that have coffee dyed. Actually, this is from Melody. Thank you, Melody, for the coffee dyed. It's cardstock. So, and we're just going to kind of spray around on these, and I might go ahead and put that mason jar on. I just want you to see. Maybe we'll just do a couple at a time. And you could do, you know, if you wanted a brighter color or whatever. I've got an idea in mind that I might want to do for a digital, and so I'm kind of playing around with that. So see, now I'm not getting much color from that, and so I'm going to add some more mica powder because I do want it to be darker than the coffee dye. But if I spray that on white, here, let's look, we'll spray it on white and see, because that will, yeah, see, I can definitely see it on the white. Okay, so that definitely shows that, but because I'm spraying it onto the coffee dye, I'm not getting, I'm trying to decide if I want to add a little bit of another color. I think it needs a little bit more of a, kind of a coppery color maybe, just to give it more of a, like a coffee dyed look. Yeah, I think I'll try this bronze. We'll do just a little bit of that and see what that does. Just playing, having some fun here. And I am not like the expert in mica powder, so I'm sure there's people that maybe have better ideas of how to do this, but I, you know, needed a binder in it, and so this to me felt like a good way to do it. Do a couple of those. Now I don't know if this is going to make it any darker because it's a lighter color of mica. This little thing is leaking, this jar. I don't put the little thing back on. I mean, you definitely can. Stop. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so now I can see it a little bit better. And I don't want to cover the whole thing entirely on these because they are already coffee dyed, so I kind of want to see a little bit of that. But you can definitely see that copper or that bronze color in there. It's showing up really well. Get rid of those. So yeah, that is fun. Let's try this color. Maybe we can just add a little bit to this. It dries pretty fast when you do this because of the rubbing alcohol. Look at that. That's why they say they're cosmetic grade, because you can definitely see how that could be used as an eyeshadow. It's definitely, you know, covering very well. So let's move these off to the side. I've got a plate that I sprayed the lace on yesterday, so I'm just going to set these on here to move them off to the side. And then I think I will go ahead and show you like more of a decoupage kind of a thing, since I've got time. It's only been a few minutes. So anyway, you could spray all sorts of things and, you know, use that up as much as possible fairly quickly. I mean, if you left it overnight or something, I don't think it would be a big deal. I just would worry about that little tiny tube getting clogged with the glue and the mica powder. But if you do it fairly soon, then I don't think it would be a problem. So let's see, I had a piece of tissue, or I could use one of my little envelopes, or bags. They're not envelope. Oh, this one is an envelope. Okay, let's use that. Glassine envelope, and is that strong enough? And let's just put a tea bag on it, and I'll kind of tear it up just so it's a little more interesting than just the flat whole thing on there. And I'm just going to take a little bit of matte medium, put it on my mat, and then maybe just a little bit of the copper, and I really don't need very much at all. Or this isn't, I keep calling it copper, but it's bronze. It's called bronze. It's just kind of a copper color. But there is a copper one as well, but this one is called bronze. And then, oh, this is the caramel brown. Let's use the chocolate again. I really don't want hardly any of that. And I haven't actually tried this, so it could work or it could be a disaster. And I think we should probably put something inside of here because it will kind of glue together. So let me see. I used this yesterday to spray on. Just the acetate that was on my mat. And I don't have the new mat down because I didn't want to get glue and whatnot all over it, so I went ahead and put down my old one, but I will be using that new mat soon. Okay, so you can see, I just put the corner in there. I'm worried about the top sealing together. I'm not really worried about the inside because I don't think it will do that, you know, down inside of there. And I've just got a paintbrush. I've just got a paintbrush. Not a great one because you don't want to use your best. And I'm just going to put some of this underneath. I guess I could put a little mica in there. I'm just going to grab a little bit of that. I didn't get very much. Just to give it a little color. Okay, and I'll put a piece of my tea bag on here. Still a little bit more of that color. And this will just give it a little shimmer. It's not going to hugely color it. You could use, you know, a pink or a purple or that, and you might get more of a, you know, wow kind of effect. So it's just a matter of how you want it. Some little pieces of tea there. Overlap them a little bit. Okay, let's see if I can find, I had another little piece of tissue and I'm wondering what in the world I did with it because it would look cool on there. Well, let's use a little bit of this and see what it looks like. Let me put this on. This is doily that has been avocado dyed, so it's going to look different than the other pieces, obviously. So under here we might want a little bit more of the color so that it's not just white. That's making kind of a weird corner. I mean, normally I would do this different. I didn't really plan to do this part, so I just figured I've got time, so I might as well play and see what we come up with. I might need some more matte medium. Oh, that part is. I thought it was like, did I put that on backwards? I don't think it matters. Okay, and then maybe another little piece of tea bag. A little bit more matte medium there. I need to get some more of that. I've ordered some like matte gel or whatever, but oh, I forgot to even say, I hope you guys are having a good day. I just get excited when I do stuff like this. It's like, oh, you just gotta see. Sorry. Hope you're having a great day. Dingy. Yeah, so I did the first part of this video yesterday afternoon so that I could play a little bit with it to kind of figure out, you know, what even to do with it. But, yeah. So this second part is another day. And actually I need another piece of this up there. So yeah, I can pretty much just use this until it's gone. That mica powder. And it's just adding a little bit of shimmer. I don't know how well you guys can see the shimmer on camera. I mean, it's wet right now, so it probably looks all shimmery, but it does give you that cool effect with the glassine, you know, where it gets that crinkly kind of fun texture. Let's put a little piece of this over here. I know I've got that spot over there, but I'll get there. Okay. And maybe put a little bit up on the flap there. I'm gonna have to get out probably a little bit more mica powder here in a minute. I'll just trim this after it's all dry. Yeah, I need a little bit more. I'll try a little bit of the caramel color. Probably just use whatever's on this. A little bit more of that one up here in some of these spots where you can see through it. Alright. Alright, I know I've got more tea bags. Over this way. Kind of like that coppery color with the, what do you call them? The avocado dye. Sorry, I swear I cannot think when I'm concentrating on that stuff. I'm just going to put my brush in the water that I used to make the spray. So we're going to let that dry and I'll come back and show you what it looks like once it's dry. Be right back. Okay, so it's all dry. I mean, it's a tiny bit damp, but I messed up, of course, because of my impatience, which happens quite frequently. I flipped it over and collaged this side as well, and then it stuck to the to the wax paper. I mean, it's not an infallible system, obviously. The wax paper helps, but because there was already glue and stuff on there. So I did peel off quite a bit of what was on the flap, but I just spritzed it with the mica powder, like alcohol ink, whatever you want to call it, that we made together. And so I think that came out okay. I may end up adding some more, but I kind of like the effect of the torn doily on there. It looks, or, you know, lifted off doily. It looks kind of cool. So not, you know, a total loss, but this is the other side. If I wouldn't have peeled it, it may have looked more like that. So I really like it. I think it's super fun to play with. So I think you could definitely use it for all kinds of things in your journals. I think it's a fun product if you're interested in having that effect, or you like to make alcohol inks and things like that. Just remember that you're probably going to need a binder. I mean, you can try it without the binder. It's just that you may end up losing quite a bit of your mica powder on whatever it is. It might work better on fabric. You know, if you're just going to make an alcohol ink type substance, it may stay fine in the fabric, but if you don't want it like rubbing off, I just think it's kind of important to have a little bit of a binder of some kind. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the ARTEZA mica powder. And I love the mat that they sent as well, and that will be, you know, on my table on the next video. I just didn't want to get the glue and everything all over the brand new mat. So I hope you guys have an awesome day, and we will chat again soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.